to the whole test. Let's go to the question that we got mistakes in. We have a literacy one, question number 8. Okay. As you can find, question number 8 relate to the skill of purpose and relevance. Relevance and purpose. So here he want to find the relationship for one of the sentence to kept or deleted and the relation for the rest of the paragraph. He said here the writer is considering deleting the underlined sentence. Should the sentence be kept or deleted? As you can find that the sentence that he's talking about is the conclusion of this paragraph. And if you remember that I told you many times, the conclusion is a kind of rephrasing of the introduction. The conclusion is a kind of rephrasing to the introduction. So we can read the introduction and read the conclusion. If they are matching together, okay. And also we can relate it to what come before. We can relate it to what come before. So here he said, I just want to be sure that this is the paragraph. Yes. One thing city planners keep in mind is that the growing destruction and frequency of natural disasters make it necessary to, the answer here is going to be integrate development with emergency plans when creating infrastructures. Let's find the last sentence, but again, you have also to read the sentence before because sometimes we don't like repetition. So the sentence before here, it comes from that part. Okay, they might, or we can say that, for example, they might use pavement that absorb water to cope with the aftermath of floods. Let's find out this one. According to research, asphalt pavement offers high skid resistance and provide high contrast in color between it and road markers. Okay, what's the relationship here between this and the emergency plans? No, I'm gonna delete it. So now we find that it's not relevant. I have to delete it. Now we need to find the purpose. Because it blurred the paragraph focus on the use of technology to help city planner manage disasters, yes. It doesn't talk about disasters here. It talk about reflection. Or delete it because it doesn't provide specific examples of what the numerous benefits of pavement are. No, we're not talking about the benefits of pavement here. We're talking about disasters. So the answer is C. Question after is question 11. It's a graph question. He said, which choice complete the sentence with accurate data based on the graph? So here, you don't need to go up actually, except that you're going to read the one here. And there is another part. So let's read it together. He said, the United States Bureau of Labor Statistics forecast steady job growth in this field. Okay, just wait. We are talking about United States, and here is it's talking about present increase in employment projected 2010 2020. And here we have social, scientists, and related workers. Here, urban, and regional planners. Here, total all occupations. Okay. And here he said adapted from United States Bureau of Labor Statistics. Okay, so let's find the part that he's talking about. Projecting that 16% of new jobs in all occupation will be related to urban and regional planning. 16% take care of all occupation of new jobs in all occupation will be related to urban and regional planning. Okay, urban and regional planning, as you can find here, it's 16. As you can find here, it's 16, so it can be right. It can be right. Let's find B, so it can be right. Forget about this. Because he said that projecting that 16% of new jobs in all occupation will be related to urban and regional planning. The problem that why he mentioned all occupation. Okay, let's go to B. Warning that job growth in urban planning will slow to 14% by 2020. No. Urban planning, it's still 16. So no. Predicting the employment in urban planning will increase by 16% between 2010 and 2020. This is more specific. This general. This is general. Because here he mentioned 2010, 2020, and here he mentioned 2010, 2020. I know that both of them talk about the same topic, but I want the thing that is specific to the graph. This is better. He mentioned 2010, 2020, and this is what was mentioned in the title of the graph. Indicate that 14 to 18% of urban position will remain unfilled. Again, no. This is better. So the answer is C. Question after is number 16. Okay, here is placement. Skill of placement. He said the writer wants to add the following sentence to the paragraph. How can I know? You have to read it, find the keywords, and you have to relate to what come before and what come after. Here he said whale songs. So we talk about whale songs. In general, are no longer than symphony movements. Are no longer than symphony movements. Perhaps because they have a similar attention span. Okay, let's find before sentence one. So it's here. The problem that sentence one said it has been observed. It has been observed that human songwriters tend to employ many of the same technique as humpback whale composers. It looks like it's related. It looks like. But the problem here that I'm talking about songs. And here he said it. It must say they. They. They have been observed. Not it has been observed. Because here we have songs. No, I'm going to cancel one. Let's look at after sentence one. As I told you, it's related to sentence one. But let's find sentence two to be between them. Humpback whales, yes, we're talking about whales, are known for their short musical phrases, musical patterns, and the use of rhythm similar to ones used by humans. Yes, yes. It can be now between one and two. So after sentence two, let's find three. Despite the fact that humpback whales can sing over a range, despite, so here a contradiction to what come before it. No, we can't put anything here between. After sentence 3, despite the fact that humpback whales can sing over a range of 7 octaves, they usually sing on key, keeping adjacent notes within the same scale. Then after that he said, just as human composers, again, he gave us a kind of exemplification for what come before. We can't put anything here. So the answer is after sentence 1. The question after is number 20. And in number 20 here, he said, which of the following best provides an introductory sentence to the paragraph? This we know it. It's topic, transition, and conclusion sentences. As you can find here, what you want introductory sentence. Introductory sentence for number 20. Something actually that come in the front. Again, the introduction will look like the conclusion. The introduction will look like the conclusion. So let's read the last sentence and also the sentence that after. He said here, It was unsurprising then that Payan and her husband Roger were the first scientists to recognize the complex and mysterious calls of some humpback whales as actual reproducible songs. Okay, sentence after here, he said K. Payne studied music and biology in higher education and later became an American zoologist and researcher in the bioacoustic research program at the Laboratory of Ornithology at Cornell University. Okay, actually, there are two sentences. Now we need one that relate to them. He said Katie Payne and Roger were well-known researchers that excelled in their careers. We're not talking about them that they are well-known researcher or not. We're talking about that they discover the complex and mysterious calls of the whales. Many people believe research in music had to include the music of the animals around us, even it's not stated what was mentioned in the final. Katie Payne was an excellent researcher and was proficient in reading music. I'm not talking about her, I'm talking about her research regarding this one. There have not been many scientists who have dedicated the research to a cross-disciplinary topic. But Katie Payne was among the few who did. Then after that, they start mentioning Katie Payne and start talking about what they found, even with Roger at the end. So the answer is D. The question after is 21. Okay, in 21 is word choice. He said complex, so I need an adjective. Yes, all of them can be an adjective actually, because you know that participial that end with ed or ing can be adjectives. But here I need something that mention complex, something that equal to complex. Forget about all these also. All of these are adjectives. But I need the same meaning of complex because he gave us a context clue. So which one? Complex and mysterious. Not discovered, not heard, not recorded. Complex, so mysterious. The same meaning. 23. Okay. 23 also word choice. As you can find, we're going to look at first at the connotation here because we don't have any, we don't know that we need here a keyword or something. So initiate to start something. So it can be neutral, starts also neutral, solidify, you know, it's positive, you're neutral, you're neutral. Predates means precede, neutral. So whenever we have neutral, and don't forget that initiate and start, they have the same meaning, begin. So let's find here. The manufacturing of cheese, document history. So can we say actually start and initiate the same? Solidify, document history, maybe. Precede means come before. Documented history, I don't know. So where we're gonna find in the passage itself, he's gonna tell us it has been suggested that it was during the accidental movement of fresh milk in the organs of animals such as sheep, cows, and goats that milk was discovered preceding refrigeration. Thank you. You just give us a kind of things. Precede, come before. So it can be. That was 23. Question after is 26. Okay, punctuation. As you can find number 26, let's read to find that. But don't forget that and come after the comma. It will not happen except there is another comma before it. And that mean what come between both of them is not essential. It's not essential. But this will not happen. So this from the beginning we can say that it's wrong. But let's find. He said humans designed to use the animal organs that naturally stored both the enzyme and curdled milk to store and transfer. Wait. Now we have a two in a list, two verbs in a list, two infinitives in a list. And we know we have two infinitives in a list or two in a list. We don't put any commas. We don't put any commas. We put commas if we have three in a list, more than two. Ahmed, comma, Ali, comma, and Tamer. Store and to store and transfer, or store and transfer without any commas, without any semicolon. Because the semicolon between two independent clauses, we don't have subject verb here. The comma, we don't have again. We don't have here. And semicolon and we can't use it again. Semicolon, fanboys, we use it only if we have another semicolon in the sentence, and we don't have. So semicolon is wrong. This is wrong. Now, comma and if we have more than two in a list. So the answer is here, C. 27, placement also. To make this paragraph most logical, sentence 4 should be. Let's find sentence 4. This one that we start talking about it. Find the keywords just to know where we're going to put it. He said human decided to use the animal organs that naturally stored both the enzyme and curdled milk to store and transfer milk and other liquids as the organs were both leak proof and good form of storage. Okay, let's find which one talk about that. He said place where it's now. Let's read the since before and since after. He since before he said due to a lack of refrigeration, the residual rennet in the animal's body combined with heat naturally curdled the milk to create the earliest forms of cheese. But here he talk about the enzymes, and here nothing mentioned the enzyme. Okay, place before sentence 1 here. So let's come after. Some scientists and researcher believe that it was around 8,000 BC, approximately around the same time that sheep were first domesticated, that cheese was first found. It's actually not immediately relate to that because he said it was discovered, and they said some scientists. Okay, it's not placed at before since 1. Okay, placed after since 1. Let's look at 2. There is an enzyme. Yeah, it can be here. It can be here because enzyme. So it can be after since 2 or before since 2. Rennet, again, the same thing that start to be mentioned. Used to make cheese that it's naturally found in the stomachs of animals such as cows, sheep, and goats. And here he said that human desired to use animal organs that naturally stored both. Because they found that the cheese start to be consistent inside the stomach of some of the animals. Okay, so the answer is C. Combined since 1? No. Because it's not related directly to since 1. It's related directly to sentence 2. The question after 39. Okay, which of the following best begin the paragraph? Again, topic or intro, transition, and conclusion sentences. Okay, he said which of the following begin the paragraph in 39? Again, whenever we are talking about something that relate to the introduction, it must be related to the conclusion. It must be related to the conclusion. Even the conclusion here has something that it's not dependent, but we're gonna read it. And we're gonna read the sentence after. He said here, manure plays in direct contact with the roots or stem of the tree. Okay, let's find the sentence after. Here he talked about how to plant. He said here, the location of the trees in relation to each other should be carefully considered. Let's find here. Usually, there are a few steps to be taken before planting a tree. It can be, but it's informal. It can be, but it's informal. We're not gonna say in a paragraph that there are a few steps. It's better to say those are the steps that we are gonna use to grow a tree. Planting a tree, as many may know, takes careful time and consideration, including many variable steps. It's not gonna be also a kind of thing that it doesn't mention here. A kind of time. It mentioned the placement. There are necessary steps that need to be taken before planting tree. It can be, and it's better. A tree can be planted in either a lawn or the street. Here again, he doesn't talk about that, and here, yeah, he talk about the location relate to others plants, not location in the street or lawn. So the answer is C. Question 40. Okay. As you can find here in question 40, uh, it looked like I want to be sure that it's punctuation or not. Here, he just add, yes, it's punctuation. Okay. Manure placed in direct contact with the roots or stem of the tree. The problem here that he used past, as I wrote here, let's find the sense before. He said a rich mill low, such as the one finds. Present. So here must be present also. Here must be present. How you write it in the past? No. Okay, manure when wet, placed. Again, there is a problem of the past, and there is something that is not essential. Manure should be placed, okay? Here it's also a past. No, this is not a past. This is an advice. This is an advice to be given. So manure should be placed in direct contact with the roots or stem of the tree. This is better. Manure placed, again, it's wrong because it took about the past. So it's the better one is C. The last question is 41. Again, punctuation. It said all bruised roots. We have subject. Should be cut off. We have verb. Before the tree is planted. Perfect. Then after that he said, comma, and the crowns of deciduous trees. Okay, it can be right. It can be right because we have subject, we have verb. So here we have two independent clause. So how we can connect them? We can connect them by comma fanboys. Here, comma fanboys can be right. Or full stop. Full stop is here. Or semicolon. So cancel B and C. The problem now that we have A and C. Which one is right? Whenever you have sentences like that, is better. Like both of them now right. Both of them right now right. And this actually a fatal mistake for the one that put the test. We don't make like that in any test. We don't give any kind of two punctuation that they are right. Because in Saturn Act, whenever I'm gonna find A and C, I'm gonna delete them. I'm gonna eliminate them. I'm gonna say no, they are not the right answer. And this is not the right answer, so I'm gonna go to D. I'm gonna go to D. But the problem that when you read after, you're gonna find that it's essential. So you're gonna return back to A or C. And as I told you, there's a problem. But whenever this happens, it's better to make sentences simple. It's better to make sentence simple, not compound. It's better to make sentence simple, not compound. So the answer here, I'm gonna choose the full stop. But this will not happen now on the EST that happen right now because they start to change their mind. Okay, I'm gonna stop recording right now. Not pause. I'm gonna. We have the first question. I think we don't have anything on passage one. The first question on passage two, I think it's 17. Yes. Okay. So let's read the blurb together. He said the following edit passage is taken from History of Egypt, Chaldea, Syria, Babylonia, and Assyria in the light of recent discovery by L.W. King and H.R. Hall on the flints means rocks, of the Paleolithic days. Okay, it looks like it's social science. We need to be sure, so we're gonna find a graph. Yes. So it's social science. The question here is number 17, vocab. What happened with you? Why all the time vocab? Okay. Bearing, what does it mean? Let's go there to line 41 to find keywords. Again, we have to work with connotation first. So transporting, neutral. Withstanding, positive. Expelling, neutral. Fostering, positive. So because we have neutral, we're gonna go to the context clue, line 41 here. So we're gonna take the full sentence. It said, forest clothed the mountain plateau, heavy rainfall, and the water rushed down to the Nile, carving out the great water courses which remain to this day, bearing testimony to the truth, bearing evidence. So it has evidence. Which one of these that will mean that one is not transporting evidence or withstanding evidence or fostering evidence is exhibiting, showing evidence. So the answer for number 17 is going to be C. The question after is number 27. I think is going to be on this one. So this is pair passages, and as I recommend before, that the pair passages keep it till the end. He said here the first passage is from The Minds and Manners of Wild Animals, a book of personal observation by Hornaday discussing a bear's mental traits. If you remember the last test, it took about the elephants, and one of them took about the apes, and the same passage for the bear start talk about the same topic. Passage 2 taken from Anecdotes of the Habits and Instinct of Animals by Mrs. R. Lee discusses birds in their natural habitat. Okay, let's go to the first question. Is question 27. We have 27 and 28. I wish that they are no evidence. 27 is evidence. We got 26 right. How? We don't know. We got 26 right. How? We don't know. Because actually, if we can't get this right, how we can get this right? So let's find. He said here, according to passage 2, which of the following best describe a bird's character? So I need in passage 2 something talk about bird's character. So let's find each one. 90 till 93. From there till walking. From there till walking. The carnivora are divided by naturalists into three tribes, the characters for which are taken from their feet and manner of walking. Okay, the carnivora hears, the carnivora hears that any animal that they are taking or they are eating meat. So it doesn't mention anything about the bird's characteristic. So it's not at all 90 to 93. Let's find from 96 to 98, from they till fun. 96 to 98. From they till fun. The problem that we have they, and we know that if we have a they pronoun, we take it since before, in under one condition, that it will not transfer with the evidence before it. It will not, so we're going to read from here. Bears rank among the plantigrada, or those which put the whole of their feet firmly upon the ground when they walk. We talk about birds, and here it's going to talk about their feet, a characteristic of birds. They are occasionally cunning and voracious, means fierce, but even evince good humor and a great love of fun. Okay, these are characteristics of birds, so it can be this one. Let's go from 98 to 100 into lives and take care that we have semicolon. From in till lives. Here. Okay, we can't stop here except that there is a contradiction with what come after. No, what come after is 105. So let's go till the full stop. Where the full stop? Okay, the full stop is by the end of 105. Let's read it. He said in there, I know that there talk about birds because we can't take a sense before. This was including before. In their wild state, they are solitary. The greater part of their lives, they climb trees with great facility, live in caverns, in caves, holes, and hollow trees, and in cold countries, retire to some secluded spot during the winter. There's the hibernation, where they remain concealed and bring forth their young. Okay. He talk about birds, and he doesn't talk about the characteristic. He talk about the way of lives. But if you missed, it can be okay. It can be. But as I told you, it doesn't talk about characteristics, talk about the way of lives. So let's look at D from 105, only 105, from some till torpid, from some till torpid, but we can't stop here. So we're gonna take till the full stop, and this is the last evidence, so no problem. Yeah, till here. Give me 1 minute, please.
Take your time.
Okay, let's continue. He said here, some say they are torpid. Torpid means asleep. Torpid means asleep. Sorry. Okay. So some say they are torpid means sleep, but this cannot be, for the female birds come from their retreats with cubs which have lived upon them, and it's not likely that they can have reared them and remained without food. They are, however, often very lean and wasted, and the absorption of their generally large portion of fat contributes to their nourishment. He told he took about the way now of eating or the way how to keep their life safe. It took about birds, maybe. So we have now B, C, and D can be accepted. Let's find which one will match it. Sluggish and lazy doesn't mean that they are gonna be in caves, because maybe they are gonna mix between D, that they are in caves and they are not depending on the fat on their body, that they are sluggish and lazy. No, lovely and withdrawn. He doesn't say that. Playful yet defensive. Yes, it was mentioned in B when he said they are humorous. It was mentioned in B when they said that they are humorous, but they are also fierce, cunning. So it can be match with B. Isolated yet social, he didn't say that. So the answer is going to be C and B. The question after is 28. It's a tone question. And as I advise you to keep the pair passages till the end, also the tone question is better to keep till the end. Why? Because you have to know both passages if you talk about compare and contrast between both. Let's find which of the following points in passage 2 would the author in passage 1 agree with, as I told you. You can't solve this kind of question except you know all things that happen in passage 1 and all things that happen in passage 2 to answer. Just I'm gonna skip this question because we have to know everything. And it's better, as I told you, to read or to finish the question of passage 1 that relate to passage 1, then finish the question that relate to passage 2, then after that you turn back to those kind of questions that they are agree on both of them. Agree on both of them. Here, he just say that both of them agree that birds are complex creature. The question after is question 30. Vocab again. Vocab again. Okay, just we're gonna skip the thing that relate to the thing that repeat it, but again, possessing. What you're gonna do, look at the connotation first, then look at the connotation first, then go back to the line if you find that something neutral or if you can't not eliminate. Okay, so the question after is 31. Big picture. Which of the following statement best summarize passage 2? Okay, so here, as we know, that you have again, you can keep this till the end until you know all the question in passage 2 if you are not reading the passage because it will take time. And then if you don't have, if you don't remember, you can just be sure of the first paragraph or last paragraph. If you don't have time, so the first sentence, the last sentence of the first paragraph, first sentence, the last sentence of the last paragraph. Like here. He said, among the carnivora or flesh-eating animals, birds take the first place for their characters and habits. Link them in some degree with the preceding order, the insectivora. The last sentence also is here. Both principally live on fruit, grains, and insects, and only eat flesh from necessity or some peculiarity of life, such as confinement or education. The last paragraph. As you can find here, there are only two paragraphs. There are only two paragraphs. So here the first. The carnivora are divided by naturalists into three tribes, the characters for which are taken from their feet and manner of walking. The last sentence. We have here they. I'm sorry, here. In former times, there were few parts of the globe in which they were not to be found. We know that they are talking about birds. But if you're not sure, you have to take since before. But like other wild animals, they have disappeared before the advance of man. So let's go to the question. Bears possesses a mix of traits. Yes, I said that. And even he talk about the walking manner. And are known to hibernate in the winter and lose a lot of fat. That I depend actually on the part that we read it. In that one. Bears are a strange animal that tend to be aggressive and clumsy. He said that they are aggressive here. That was actually it mentioned, but clumsy no, because it said that they are humorous. Bears are part of the carnivora and insectivora. No, he said that they precede the insectivora. Bears tend to attack when hungry and are found all over the globe. No, so the answer is A. The question after is 35. So it's going to be here. The following edit passage taken from History of the Plague in London by Daniel Defoe on the plague in the 18th. There's a history one. So let's go to 35. Again, evidence. Again, evidence. The problem that we got 36 right, but 35 wrong. No, we have 35 and 36, unfortunately. Okay. He said, what was the initial reaction? Take care, please. I know that maybe all of them are reaction, but he said the initial, take care of that. The initial, the first thing, because that was repeated in the previous test also. Initial, take care of those words. Maybe you're going to find 3 or 4 or 2 reactions, but he wants the initial, the first one. The initial reaction of the people of the town when a person was found dead in the street, the initial reaction. I'm sure in that kind of question, because I'm not going to go through it, that we have many things here talk about the reaction. But he wants the initial, the first one. Be sure when you are answering, please. Question after is 49. The following edit passage, you're going to find this scientific, is taken from the Chemistry, Properties and Test of Precious Stones by John Maston on the presence of heat rays and light rays on different stones. We have 49. Graph. Graph question. It said, according to the passage, what could be said about the data presented in the graphic? Let's go to the graph to find out, to just make a kind of analysis for the graph. Here are the graphs. He said here selection of singly refracting stones. Here the indexes, here indexes of rays, of heat, and here light. Here indexes of rays of heat, here refracting stones, and here light. And here some kind of stones. Okay. Here selection of doubly, here singly, refraction stones. Double, here single. And here also said index of rays, light and heat, as you can find. And you can find here in this part, there varies, here also varies. Let's go there and find out. He said it is accurate. It must be accurate, but this is a general. This general one, it can be chosen actually if we can't find anything from the rest. Actual numbers may vary. Yes, he said varies. The number can vary, as you can find here, varies. So it can varies. After, it's completely inaccurate. I think there's no. It's accurate is better. Inaccurate, it will not be mentioned and it's not going to be written or stated. No information is found in the passage. C and D, it looks like each other, an accurate general, so we're going to take B. And you can return back to the passage again to relate to, and you're going to find that he talked about the varied part of the actual numbers. The last question is 52. Graph also. Which of the following is not mentioned in the tables? Okay, we know now. The diamond have the highest number of light rays among both the single and double refracting stones. I think he mentioned them. He mentioned that they have highest number. He mentioned whether light in single or double. He mentioned them. I said not mention. The highest number of heat rays passing through doubly. Again, it was mentioned. The quartz and pearl stone have a similar number of light rays. Let's find quartz and pearl. Quartz and pearl, yes, it's near. It's near to each other. He said to light. He said to light and heat or light only. Let's return back again. He said to light. Yes, they are near. Spinel and almandine have a different number of heat rays. Spinel and almandine. Here, no, they are not different. They are the same. So they're the only thing that wasn't mentioned or not mentioned. So the answer is D. Let's go now to the second test.